Hello, this is Telomere and welcome to another repair video. In this video, we are looking at this ancient Samsung Galaxy S7. Now, I have worked on one of these phones in the past, and it gave me quite the hassle. Now, the reason why it gave me such a hassle was because it was so darn hard to get the back cover off. But what I had done last time, what I was supposed to do, was do a battery replacement. I gave up on it. Here's the battery from 2 years ago, still here, still in my shop, because I gave up. I couldn't get it open. So, I'm gonna try it again. Let's see if we can actually get into this thing with my new and improved knowledge of getting into other very frustrating to get into phones, such as the Samsung Galaxy S9, which is also very hard to get into. So I'm just gonna heat up the whole back, get it all up to temperature, get the phone up to temperature, then I'm going to start just getting the bottom of the phone toasty, just hot to the touch. Got a suction cup, and there, just pull up a little. The phone's already gone cold. Yeah. Try that again. I'm seeing basically no movement. Now I do have a way to get around that, but before I try it, I'm going to throw on a little bead of alcohol, drizzle, just to see if that would get it moving. And it's not even budging. Okay, so here's my secret weapon. My secret weapon is this, or the chisel blade. In this occasion, because this is such a thin back glass, I do know that this, I think it's the S7, the S8, and the S9, their backs are very brittle, and because of that, they're prone to break. So I'm going to see what I can do going in here with my metal here. It's about the only thing I can think of doing. It's just a really thin piece of metal. It's generally used for removing the digitizer from a screen, which I've never had much success with, to be honest. So I do have a little bit of a gap going here, and that might be enough to get us going, at least. So I'm going to try this again, heat the whole thing up, and all I was just doing there is just splitting the adhesive behind that to get this started. I have no idea how people in the past got this open, because I don't think that this piece of metal is that. I haven't seen that kind of metal around very often. Okay, it is working somewhat. The left side has separated. Now, I have tried using a very thin plastic card for this in the past with an S9. No, it wasn't an S9. I think it was a Note 9 is what it was, and it still broke the back. So I gotta be careful. The only problem with using this metal piece of whatever you want to call that, there's a major problem with it, and that is simply that using it can result in scratching the chrome layer off the back of this phone, which is not optimal. Let's see if I can get in with this as is. I just have to be super careful, cautious, take my time. The edges are the big problem spots. If there's one area on the phone you're likely to break, from my own experience, it's those corners. And also just like pockets or down here can break easily. There's places all over that can break easily. It's very frustrating. Okay, I've made some great progress. I've gotten through all of the glue pretty much. It's just the bottom that it's really sticky. Whatever glue they're literally using glue. This isn't just adhesive. But I've pretty much gotten right down to the bottom of the phone. If I'm remembering correctly, they put a little bit of adhesive across the back there, I think. They might even put some around the lens. This is going to be so annoying. And there we have it. We're in. So that's that bit of adhesive I was cutting through. There's nothing there. Nothing there at all. Okay. There wasn't any around the camera either. Well, that's off. Now the rest just looks like a normal Samsung, really, or any Android, really. The question is am I going to have to take everything out, or is it just going to be a small piece that I have to take out? Okay, I'm going to see if I can take this out just as is. I'm hoping I don't have to take this out as well. I might have to. Alright, so that comes out on its own. It looks like this just has a little clip thing that slips underneath this piece of plastic, so that should be fine. Battery connects up here, and I'm pretty sure there's a hole in the screen around here, so we gotta be careful in getting it out. I believe I'm gonna have to flood this with alcohol regardless, so let's just do that and find a gap to get this pried up. I'm just putting my pry tool in, and I'm just pulling up the lightest amount. I'm just pulling up just enough that I'm feeling resistance, and I'm letting the alcohol dribble in behind the battery and the adhesive in order to get the battery to lift. This doesn't always work this well, especially with the newer phones. I mean, I should say semi-newer phones. The really new phones, like, relatively speaking, like the S20 and up, are really easy to get the batteries out in comparison to this. Actually, no, this is about as easy as that one. Anyways, there it is. It's out. We still got to get the adhesive out of this area, out of the chamber of the battery. See the screen right in the back there? That's what I was talking about, that big hole. Now, if there's any tools, equipment, or supplies that I am using within my videos that you feel would be of use to yourself for your own repairs, I do have Amazon affiliate links in the video description. I do make tiny profit off of those links when you use them. Now, I don't know how sensitive this area is. Just make sure you don't hit that area there with the glue removal tool, adhesive removal tool, you know what I'll call this thing. Next on the agenda, toss in the battery and test. Man, is that ever a tight fit. Let's turn it on and see how we're going. I just need to make sure it turns on. There's no easy way to test a battery once it's in beyond just turning it on, waiting a minute or so or something like that, just to see if there's any weird issues that pop up. And if there isn't, then you can finish the installation. Yeah, it's working all right. I'm going to try plugging the phone in and just making sure that the phone charges. I'm not seeing any issues. We can go ahead and get it installed. It is a really tight fit. Gotta go and put in some new adhesive. All this is 3M double-sided adhesive. It works very well for what it is. And you don't really need a whole lot. A lot of times it's stronger than the adhesive that was previously in there even. Usually there's this stuff for new screens and stuff like that, and putting the back cover back onto phones. But it sure does work well for batteries. Okay, we're ready. This is an extremely tight fit for a battery. I don't think I've encountered this tight of a fit before. I'm going to have to plug this in first. That is, generally speaking, a good idea regardless, is to always plug the battery in first and then put it into the slot, just to make sure everything is lined up properly. There we go. That really is a tight fit. I got it installed now, and I'm going to do another test. Yes, it's working. All right. You can just put these back into place. I think this goes on top like this. It just sits there on top. So this goes in first. I gotta remember that clip down on the bottom that needs to go underneath first, and then I can push this into place. Now for some screws. We'll be good to go. Now for putting the back cover back into place, I'm not really being paid enough for this job to do, like, put in new adhesive. They really knocked me down on my price. So the only way that I'm willing to do that is if they're okay with me cutting a few corners. So the only corner that I'm willing to cut when it comes to this is the adhesive. And that is also dependent upon whether or not the adhesive for the back is, like, recoverable. If it's in too bad of condition to hold the back glass in place, back cover in place, I will replace the adhesive despite the price knockoff. So I'm taking a little bit of a chance, to be honest. But I believe with the S7, the S8, and the S9, the adhesive is generally very solid, very sticky, and very reusable. So I should be okay. All right, yeah, it's in like immaculate condition. This little area right here was a little bit gummed up. I was able to fix that very easily. It's incredibly sticky still, so that's fine. The other thing I always check is to see whether or not there is any hand cheese in the corners. I'm not seeing any, but I'm gonna take a cotton swab and just go over it anyways, just to make sure that there isn't any. Here we go. Put it back in place. The battery is working fine. And there we have it. I'm going to give it a bit of a wipe down because it's a little yucky looking. That is done. That is quite firmly in place. That thing is not coming back up without some effort. And there it is, all done and dusted. Oh, it's just sparkly. Can't ask for better than that. There's very few marks on the screen. I actually don't see any scratches. This is aside the burning on that screen, this phone is in really good condition. So if you guys liked the video, please do leave a like, and if you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe. We'll see you guys all in another video. Bye.